Hello, I'm Farah Larieux, and welcome to Haiti Journal. Haiti Journal is a monthly public affairs program covering current issues facing the Haitian American community in the U.S. and abroad, produced in partnership between WPBT2 and the Haitian American Professionals Coalition. It's been a year since a $1.2 billion general obligation bond was approved by voters to renovate over 200 Miami County area schools. We have invited Brian Williams, the Economic Development Officer for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, to give us an update and to talk about business opportunities with the school district. Thank you for joining us, Brian. Well, let's talk about the $1.2 billion general obligation bond. For those who don't know it, can you tell us?
As you stated, about November of last year, the school district campaigned and passed a $1.2 billion bond referendum in order to renovate all of our schools. And it was a commitment to the community that we would fix the schools that were in disrepair. In addition, one of the aspects of that process was that we would create opportunities for not only small business enterprises, but minority business enterprises in the local Miami-Dade County community.
And it says that it will create 9,200 jobs.
Well, that's a target for us, and one of the aspects of this program and some of the things that our office is currently developing is to not only create opportunities on the construction side for subcontracting in specific trades such as electrical, plumbing, etc., but we're also creating programs that are going to require our contractors on our projects to hire local workforce, which is going to drive jobs into the areas where those schools are being built. It's a new initiative by the school district, something that we've never done before, but we're already implementing that into some of our current construction projects. And
for that, to reach out the community, there's a program implemented.
That's correct. What we're doing, and we're working in conjunction with South Florida Workforce, they have a database where they register people who, by their trade or the specific category of services they provide. And what we do is when we go out and do our construction projects, we will access that database. So the message to the community is get registered with South Florida Workforce, because when we go out and start building these construction projects, we're going to require our general contractors to go to that database and look for employees in those areas to hire.
And do you have some statistic of so far for now how many people have been registered?
Well, there's two programs. We have a certification for our subcontractors and our tradesmen or our small businesses currently, and we started certifying that program for small business enterprises in April of this year. We've actually just passed our 200 mark, and I know that may seem small when you look at it globally, but from starting in April and really getting the program going in May, we have registered over 200 small business enterprises in our certification program. As far as the employees, that database is a constantly growing database. We are encouraging, again, individuals in the community to sign up with South Florida Workforce if they want to work as a laborer or a tradesman on those particular projects. But if you have your own small business, we want you to get certified with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And the reason why, and there's a lot of talk about construction and construction trades, and we're looking for architects, we're looking for engineers, we're looking for, again, general contractors, building contractors, individuals who can actually contribute and build these schools. But in addition to that, and a lot of things get lost with the bond, when you hear the bond, people focus on construction. What they forget is we're also developing programs in the areas of goods and services and procurement as a whole. The school district does $1 billion a year in goods and services, and even though this bond is the $1.2 billion bond over the course of 5 years, we have a lot of opportunities not only on the construction side, but on the goods and services side.
And you mentioned about certification, small business enterprise, and you have also the MWBE, which is the MWBE stand for?
Minority Women Business Enterprise Program.
And these two certifications, that how you can put yourself in a position to be on the database with your office, the office economy opportunity, so they can get some contract.
That's correct. What we currently do, and when I originally started, we created and modified our certification application. Again, a lot of times when we're implementing programs with the district, we listen to the community in terms of how we develop that. And what we did is we developed an application where you can certify both as a small business but also as a minority business. And the reason for that is there are certain selection processes that the district currently has where we take into account if you're a small business and we give you some preferences or points. We also take into account if you're a minority women business enterprise. Again, the district is currently in the process of conducting a disparity study as it relates to minority businesses in Miami-Dade County. It's anticipated when those results are revealed, we will look at developing additional policies specifically for minority business enterprises. Currently, the focus has been on our small business enterprise program, which is a race gender neutral program. It allows us the opportunity to be very aggressive in setting goals. And what we've noticed as we develop this program, and as I look at the firms that are getting certified, like I said, we have over 200 firms. Of that, I'd say 98% of those firms are actually minority-owned businesses. So when we structured our program, we structured it in a way so that we're really capturing not only small businesses, but minority-owned businesses.
And some people are concerned about the disparity aspect, and some people feel that they are left out. What you will say to these people?
With respect to the feeling of being left out, that's a comment that I constantly hear. I go out and do a lot of outreach programs, and I'm very, I listen to those concerns. And while the district cannot rectify the past, my focus is what we can do moving forward. The disparity study is going to reveal its results. It analyzes the availability of firms in the Miami-Dade County market area. It looks at whether or not those firms are being utilized on our contracting and whether there are any barriers in place to prevent them from getting contracts. Again, I'm very cognizant of those concerns, and we're already, in advance of the disparity study being released, looking at ways that we can improve the opportunities and abilities for small firms to do business with us. For example, we have currently revised our selection procedures in the area of construction and architectural and engineering to allow for more opportunity for small business enterprises to get work with us. We recognize that in the past, the procedures may have been structured in a way where it made it more difficult for those firms to get work with us. Well, we took that suggestion, we met with our advisory committee, and we sat down for several months and developed procedures that we believe will help small businesses get work.
And what are these procedures?
These procedures are architectural and engineering continuing contract procedures. They're also our CM at risk miscellaneous, which is our construction manager at risk contracts. Those are continuing contracts. And what does that mean in English? It means that essentially we can refer any project $2 million or less to these firms. And as you may know, when looking at renovation of schools, we have over 100 projects that fall into that category. So that's 100 projects that we can roughly look at to determine whether we can give that work to small business enterprises.
And what are the requirements to be qualified for this certification?
One of the requirements to be qualified for certification, for the viewer's sake, is the first thing is to get registered as a vendor. In order to register as a vendor, there's a link on the procurement website at dadeschools.net, and firms will have to get a vendor ID, and that's particularly important in order for them to actually get paid. So in order to get paid, you have to have a vendor ID. For construction, anyone who's going to be doing general contracting work, you need to get pre-qualified. That's a state requirement. A statute requires that as well. My office oversees the pre-qualification department. Now that's going to be based on, that process is going to help determine what your bonding capacity is. State projects or government projects are governed by bonding. That's your security during the construction phase. And so firms will have to go through that process in order as a step to get pre-qualified. We're out there in the community. We did a workshop for pre-qualification in August. We're going to be doing a few more of those in the future, but that's another phase to get pre-qualified. And then the last step is actually getting certified as a small business enterprise or minority business enterprise. The reason you need to do that is, again, we're developing programs and preferences specifically for those groups. We're trying to level the playing field and allow an opportunity for firms that weren't able to compete to actually compete now.
And beside the construction, small businesses, lawyers, accountants, are also can be certified?
That's absolutely correct. That would fall into the category of professional services. It also would fall under goods and services. We're encouraging everyone, whatever the services that you provide may be, call our office. We'll talk to procurement and make sure if we do it, we want you to get certified. I'll just give you an example. I got a call this week from a school looking for a web designer. I know there are small businesses in Miami-Dade County that provide those services. We got a call about plumbers. I know there are small businesses that provide plumbing service. Whatever the service may be, call our office, get certified, because what that will allow me to do is go to the procurement director or go to the facilities officer and say, here are these contracts. What opportunities do we have for small businesses to carve out contracts to give to them? And that's what the focus of this program is about.
Thank you, Warren, for all this information. And last word?
My last word is, and I can't emphasize this anymore, is to get certified. Anything I can do, anything my office can do to help, we will walk you through the process. We will make sure you get to the finish line. Because I really think this is probably the best opportunity that we've had in a long time in Miami-Dade County for businesses to get work. And I know that people out there may feel that they haven't had those opportunities in the past, but from me to them, I'm saying, please get certified. Please trust that we are trying to give you opportunities and that we will do our best to make sure you get some work.
And we encourage everyone to do so. Up next, an update on the citizenship crisis in the Dominican Republic. Stay with us. It's been a month since the Dominican Republic's Constitutional Court ruled to strip citizenship from Dominicans of Haitian descent. To learn more about the status of those impacted by the ruling, we have invited Fares Duvernay, journalist and radio host at WSRF 1580 AM. Thank you, Fares, for being here.
My pleasure, Farah.
I know you came from a long trip in Dominican Republic, and tell us, what have you seen there?
I wanted to see how the ruling impacted the lives of the Dominicans from origin descent living in the Dominican Republic for more than 80 years right now. Not only the young people, but also young, very old people living in the Batey in the Dominican Republic, and have seen people who can't go to school because they've been stripped of their nationality. They have no more rights as Dominicans. They don't have access to health care. They can't work. They don't have access to the job market. So I've seen people who are living with the fear of being deported to Haiti, a country they've never been since they were born. I have the story of that old lady, 71. She's never been to Haiti. And also, if she doesn't apply for temporary status as an immigrant, she might be deported to Haiti. And those people, they are living with that fear every day.
So they come like underclass citizen.
If we can call them citizens, actually, because they have no more rights to the Dominican citizenship.
They're stateless.
They are stateless, actually.
And so that means the court decision is already in effect.
It is in effect. It is in effect right now, and the court has asked the Central Electoral Junta to go and find out how many people are living in the country as irregular, as undocumented aliens, or how many people will be affected by the ruling of the Constitutional Court. I believe this Thursday, everything is...
When you said this Thursday in November...
Yes. 7th. Mm-hmm. And the Junta Central Electoral needs to present his report and say how many people they believe are living, are undocumented citizens living in the Dominican Republic. And from that point on, they will see how many of them will be deported, how many of them
will be qualify for this temporary status.
Sure.
Now, when you say the general electoral junta, which is, we can call it the election board, and in Dominican Republic, this is how they do their census.
Sure.
Through the
they're in charge of everything what that is identity in the country. They give you a right to vote, and also they deliver the birth certificate to people born in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, so they are delivered as birth certificate.
Also,
so they are there's a very important commission.
Very powerful agency, very, very important. Unfortunately controlled by ultra-nationalists from the Dominican Republic.
And you said ultra-nationalists, so...
Those are very anti-aliens, anti-immigrant people, anti-Haitians people, and they made a deal with former President Leonel Fernandez during his election to help him win the elections, and they said, as a result, we're going to need to control the Central Electoral Junta and the immigration services. They are actually controlling those services, those very powerful agencies.
So that's mean it was something going on for a while now.
Sure.
And they plan it, and but why they come with that decision? What did you learn while you were there?
Okay, what happened was for many years, they always refused to provide birth certificate timely to children born from Dominicans from Haitians origin, and that was a problem for them living in the country. You born there, you give birth there, and they're asking questions about your parents. Were they legal when they came here? When you were born, your parents, were they legal? And they said, we're going to investigate. We're not sure we want to give your kids, your children, birth certificate. Now, some people went to court, actually, to the Inter-American Human Rights Court, trying to get the Dominican Republic to give them birth certificate. And they said, okay, we want no more lawsuit, and now we're going to get a ruling making all of you stateless. You are no more citizens of the Dominican Republic, so no more lawsuit because you have no rights to the citizenship.
So, but we know that this decision is all the way to those who went to Dominican Republic since 1929. So we're talking about 3 generations.
Sure.
And the lady that you mentioned earlier, to the 71-year-old lady, and that actually you mentioned in your article entitled Dominicain d'origine haïtienne, Profil d'apatride, translation, Dominicans from Haitian descent, profile of stateless people.
Yeah.
And this article was published in November 4th in French and the newspaper in Haiti, Le Nouvelliste, and you present the profile of different individuals who were affected by this decision. But you see someone like who's 71 years old, who never been in Haiti, and her great-grandparents enter in Dominican Republic, and they are investigating if they enter in legally or illegally. But we know also that Dominican Republic and Haiti have a long history of workers coming from Haiti who cross the border to work in the sugar camp.
Sure.
So these are people who were the workforce of
and they still are.
And they are also the economic
engine.
Yes.
Sure, they are. And when they ask the question, were those people legal? And this is a very terrible situation. This is all wrong, because they were illegal when they crossed the borders. There was an agreement between the Haitian government led by Duvalier and the Dominican Republic government at this time. Balaguer was president. And when those people crossed the border, they was actually legal. They got paper, they got work permit, they got everything. They were in transit. They weren't illegal. They didn't choose to go there to live illegally. They applied to go and work in the sugarcane plantation, and the Haitian government got paid for them. So they could go to the Dominican Republic
So
and work
there
there.
there was a kind of agreement between both governments,
Sure.
Balaguer and Duvalier, which is François Duvalier.
Yes.
So
TLT Jean-Claude Duvalier.
and then, but now that Willie came, what is the reaction of what the Haitian government saying about that?
Actually, the president never said anything.
Haitian
president never said anything.
Joseph Michel Martelly.
Prime Minister Laurent Lamont never said anything. What the government is doing right now is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Pierre-Richard Casimir, he's traveling all around the Caribbean, the Latin America, trying to get support from CARICOM, trying to get support from Latin American governments, from the OAS, and actually trying to get support from the European Union so they can pressure the Dominican government to do something about it, to treat the people humanly, to respect the rights of those people. But President Danilo Medina of the Dominican Republic said, this is a justice decision. Nothing I can do about it. All I can do is to implement to enforce the ruling, and this is exactly what he's doing.
And they said that this situation may have affected 200,000 Haitian Dominicans of Haitian descent. And if these people facing deportation and they have no access to social and health benefits or education, and they even revoke their birthright, so that means these people they kind of living under the society of Dominican.
Oh, sure, definitely, and you should see how they live. I've been there. I wanted to see how they are living their day-to-day lives. And you go to a bate, you see people living in terrible condition, and you see young guys. I've got an interview with the young gentleman, 23 years old, and he has graduated from high school 3 years ago. Now he's working as a shoemaker. He can't go to university. He wanted to be a civil engineer. He can't go to school because the Central Electoral Junta said, we don't think your birth certificate is good, and it's a bona fide birth certificate. And that other young lady, 27 years old, Ana Maria Belique, she's the leader of the Reconocido movement. This is the resistance movement against the ruling from the Constitutional Court. She used to vote, and she has a voting card, and now she can do anything.
And actually, that's my next question. How are the Dominican how agree with what's going on with it now?
This is a divided society, actually, when it comes to how people react to that ruling. You have the ultra-nationalists that I've mentioned before from the National Progressist Party, and they are anti-Haitians, anti-aliens, anti-immigrants, and everything immigrants they hate, and those people really they are supporting the Constitutional Court. But we have actually a large portion of the Dominican society, they are against that ruling. And very recently, there was a group of more than 300 people, writers, poets, journalists, and 300 people, and they have formed a committee to support those people affected by the ruling. And this is a tremendous support that they can get, because those are very influential people. And also I've talked to very influential politicians from the PRD and former presidential candidates. They are all against the ruling of the Constitutional Court.
So there's a divided society right now, and there's a lot of action, mobilization,
sure,
people coming together
from both sides.
From both sides to either push it or to be against it.
Yeah.
And So is it a story that you're going to continue to
I'm
follow?
on it. I'm on the story. Actually, I will be back to the Dominican Republic. I need to see, to go to more bateys and see how those people are living, how this is affecting them, and talk more to those people, talk to the people who are supporting the Dominicans from Haitian descent. I'm really on that story. I'm on top of it.
And how you see the international media also contributing to this?
What was the question?
How you see the international media?
That has a very large coverage from the international media, actually, and also in the Dominican Republic. About every day, front page, you have a story about the situation of those people, about the decisions of the government, and about those people who are against the ruling, the people who are for the ruling, and they had a huge demonstrations of those ultra-nationalists a couple of days ago, and they were showing openly how they hate Haitians and how they hate immigrants living in the Dominican Republic.
That's very unfortunate. And thank you for this update, Fares. So we hope to see you again in the program. But unfortunately, we are out of time. For more information about our program, please visit our website at wpbt2.org/Haiti Journal. We will return next month with another edition of Haiti Journal on Sunday, December 8th and Sunday, December 22nd at our new time of 12:30 p.m. right here on WPBT2. I'm Fala. Thanks for watching.